Hey YouTube, I'm going to keep this a relatively short video. If you follow me on my Instagram page, you'll notice that I posted that I'd gone from 13 stone 10 to 12 stone 12. That is over the period of 18 days, and really it's through obviously training and training hard and key things that I'm doing with my diet instead of just eating healthy, doing stuff in a specific way that's really helping. And I wanted to give you the 5 main things that I do that you might not do when you're dieting. Some of them you may know of, some of them you may not. So I'm just going to go through them. Number 1, early morning cardio. We're talking pre-breakfast when your body is still using its fat stores as energy. So you want to keep your intensity fairly low. They say around 30% or something like that. But essentially just a walk, a reasonable pace walk, or a slow hike. Me and my partner, we go to a place that's near us where it's a bit hilly and we go up and round for about an hour. That will mean that you're burning fat for longer. As soon as you start eating and your body starts to take what you're eating, take those carbs and fill your muscles with glycogen and starts to use the carbs as energy. Before that, it will still be using the fat. So it's a prime time to get some exercise in that's actually going to take fat straight off you. Number 2, eating more protein in your diet. Your body burns quite a lot of calories breaking down protein. So you take protein in and the body strips it down along with your carbs and your fat, and obviously then it goes and it gets used. And it actually uses more calories to break down protein than it does your carbs and your fat. So you're actually burning calories by eating. It's like the only thing that will do that, really. Also, you don't store protein that isn't necessary. You can store countless amounts of unnecessary fat. You store your carbs and you don't use your carbs, that can be converted into lipids, into fat stores. So your protein is either used or thrown away. So by eating more protein, you're burning the more calories inside you, breaking it down. And if you don't use the protein, it goes. Also, when obviously you're training, you need the protein to build up your muscles. So it's really, really key. Number 3, 5 hours before bed. Okay, use that as a general rule. 5 hours before bed, carbs should be pretty much negligible. Okay, what this means is you start running on fat stores earlier, providing you don't train late in the evening, or even if you do, it can still be helpful. But by not having carbs around 5 hours before you go to bed, you convert into using your fat stores earlier, which extends the period of time that you're running on your fat stores. And the longer you run on your fat stores, better you're going to burn fat. So if you're doing that and you're doing the early morning pre-breakfast cardio, then obviously it's going to really, really extend the amount of time that you are running on your fat stores. Okay, that is a staple one. That is one that I really do recommend. Out of all 5, it's the best one. Number 4, polysaturates. You get loads of different types of fat, but polysaturates are the worst. Okay, you find polysaturates in a lot of processed food. It's the worst kind because it's the hardest for the body to break down, the hardest for it to use, and therefore it usually is the one that is most stored on the body. Polysaturates are multi-bonded fat, and with that it makes it more difficult to break down. If you have your fats from fish and your fats from nuts and various other things, most of them are unsaturated and most of them are monounsaturates. Those are a lot easier to break down. Your body can use what it needs to use of them, but it's a lot easier to break them down and get rid of them out of your body. Whereas it's a lot more common for polysaturates to be stored on the body. And like I say, they are the worst type of fat and they're the least nutritious for you as well. The final one is changing up your routine. Now this doesn't have to be in a major way. Say for example, say you do weight training. You do a typical chest day, you go in, you jump on the barbell for 4 sets, 12 reps, you jump on the bench and you do incline dumbbell press for 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps or something like that, and then you go on to your flies and then you start doing tricep dips, you do skull crushers, and then you finish off with some exercises on the cables just to finish off your triceps. Your body likes to be efficient. So if you carry on doing that exact same routine every single time you go and train that specific muscle, it will get better and better and better at doing that routine. And the more efficient it is, the less energy it uses to carry out the same task. So whereas when you first start it, your body's going to be really struggling and it's going to be using all its energy and you're going to be really lethargic, really tired afterwards. You're going to have nothing left in you. Once you do it so many times, you're doing basically the same thing. Even if you're increasing weight a bit, you're basically doing the same thing. Your body is going to be so much more efficient at it, which is good, but it means you're not going to burn as many calories. Now, you don't have to completely throw your routine out the window and just do every exercise different. You don't need to go that far. But try doing, even if it's just for a couple of weeks, just to disturb your body. Try maybe starting with your isolated exercises. Start with your flies, or start with your lateral raises, or stuff like that, and then move on to your big ones. So move on to your shoulder press on shoulder day after you've done your lateral raises, and move on to your barbell bench or your dumbbell press after you've done your flies. And your body will find it a lot harder to do those exercises that it would typically be doing first with the most energy that you could possibly have. It's actually doing second or third exercise when you're quite a bit depleted compared to what you would normally be. So you can still pretty much do the same exercise if they're the exercises you like, but do them in a different order just to really confuse the body. And you'll find it a lot harder to do the exercises later on that you usually do at the start, and your body's going to burn more calories by trying to force it to put on the same performance that it would usually do, but now with less energy. Okay, so they're very simple ones, and you can easily do all 5. The only one that I'd say maybe is harder, and it comes more down to circumstances, is your early morning cardio. I know in the week I don't have time most of the time to do cardio in the morning when I get up, because I get up and half an hour later I'm going to work because I start early. But in the weekend we really try and do it as much as possible, or if I have days off in the week then we'll do it as much as possible. So you've got your early morning cardio, eating more protein, get that into your diet. No carbs 5 hours before bed, or pretty much negligible carbs. It's hard to eat something that has 0 in, but as low as possible. Reduce polysaturates as much as possible, okay? And finally, changing up your routine. Give those a try, okay? If you follow me on Instagram already, great. If not, go follow Nick Corso Fit altogether. If you like this, leave us a like and please subscribe. The videos on here are not going to be overly frequent, maybe once or twice a week, but I do post every day on my Instagram. So it'd be best to go and follow that, and also I post on there when I've uploaded a video onto it anyway. So you'll know either way. But please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.